Fanfic Corner, Special Edition Fanfics, presented by Jennifer. Night of the Dragon's Ghost, written and read by Jennifer. Rain poured down from the sky. Thunder boomed in the distance. Lightning lit up the sky so brightly Lizzie didn't need her flashlight. She shivered and pulled her wet windbreaker closer to her. What a terrible night. Not even one bat or owl was out. The wind moaned like a wounded animal. Lizzie glanced at the sky, but she didn't see the familiar dark shape of her dragon friend. The thunder boomed again, and Lizzie covered her ears at the loud sound. She knew she had to find shelter. She ran into a nearby cave. She was dripping wet and soaked clear through to her skin. Her beautiful, waist-long, light brown and rust red hair was plastered to her like wallpaper. She sat down on the hard, cold cave floor and watched the rain fall in sheets outside the mouth of the cave. I'll just stay here until the storm's over, then I'll try and find her, Lizzie thought. Something moved in the shadows. There was a loud thump, thump, as something big and heavy moved on the cave floor. Lizzie looked behind her and saw two eyes glowing in eerie blue. Lightning flashed as a large dragon lunged at her. Lizzie jumped out of the way just in time. "Serenity, it's me!" she shouted. The dragon jerked her long, slender neck back. She was big for a female dragon, about 30 feet tall from foot to head and 7 feet 1 inch long from her chest to the tip of her tail, with scales of pure silver covering her snowy white flesh. Her horns and talons were solid silver, and her sharp fangs were as white as her flesh. Her wingspan was beautifully long. From tip to tip, it was 56 feet 4 inches. Her big saucer eyes were sky blue, the same blue as Lizzie's. She brought her head closer to Lizzie's face. "Oh, Lizzie, what brings you here?" she asked. "Something strange is going on at home. I can feel it. And what's with attacking me?" "I'm sorry, I've been chasing shadows all night, ever since the storm started." Serenity pulled her head up. Lizzie had the ability to sense supernatural things, and the great she-dragon never questioned her. Serenity shook her great silver head. "And I fear you may be right. A storm like this in Libra can only mean something bad is going to happen," she said. Lizzie didn't need to ask what Serenity meant by "in Libra." Dragon months were different from human months. They always started on the 24th and were always named after the zodiac sign for that month. "Well, whatever it is, it's going to happen tonight," Lizzie said. Serenity looked out at the storm. "I think you're right. Come on, we're going to stop this evil." Serenity headed out into the storm. Lizzie ran to catch up. "But the storm will both look like wet chickens," she said. Serenity looked at her. "Rain doesn't bother me, but I know you humans don't like it, so you can use one of my wings as an umbrella." The two went out into the storm. The rain cascaded off of Serenity's body like 1,000 waterfalls, but not one drop touched Lizzie, and slowly but surely she was drying out. Suddenly something moved in the darkness. Serenity roared loudly. Her eyes narrowed, her forelegs spread apart, and her wings spread to their full length. She was ready to fight. "What's wrong, Serenity?" Lizzie asked, a little frightened. "There's something out there," the dragon replied, not even looking at her friend. She lowered her neck, letting the leather bag she had slip off. She took the leather strings in her mouth and gave the bag to Lizzie. "Hold on to this. I have some charms and talismans inside. We may need them," she said. Lizzie took hold of the bag, which was the size of a rolled-up sleeping bag. Lightning flashed, and there it was by a clump of trees. A ghostly dragon, almost twice as big as Serenity, with fiery eyes. It stood there, wings folded against its body, and rain falling through it. It was then that Lizzie realized this dragon was a ghost. "So we meet again, Serenity. The 1,000 years have been good to you. You're even more beautiful than the last time we met. And I am a ghost, forced to serve Lucifer for all time." The ghost dragon, said the ghost dragon, a male dragon. "You brought on yourself, Doublefire. You tried to steal from my family and the other dragons. You were as greedy as the demons. Doublefire smiled an evil smile. But Lucifer let me return to finish the task, and you can't stop me this time. I killed you once, and I can banish your soul. That's a fate worse than death. Doublefire roared and lunged at Serenity, passing right through her. The two dragons stood in a stalemate, growling and roaring at each other. They both knew that neither could harm the other. Lizzie, in the bag is a talisman with a pentagram on it. Find it quickly, said Serenity. Lizzie opened the bag and pulled out a dark gray stone shaped like a pentagon. In the center was a golden pentagram. Serenity, here! Lizzie threw the talisman to the silver dragon, silver she-dragon, who caught it in one of her forepaws. No, not the talisman of Stonehenge. It will banish me from the mortal realm forever, shouted Doublefire. That's exactly what I plan on using it for. The world doesn't need your greed robbing everyone blind, said Serenity. Doublefire let out a blood-curdling roar. In the blink of an eye, hundreds of demons and other ghosts appeared. No, almighty servants of Lucifer, take hold of the girl. Serenity will not harm us if the girl is in any danger. Two demons, one that looked like an overgrown, deformed rat, and another that looked like an overgrown bat, took hold of Lizzie's wrists. She struggled, but they held her fast. Lizzie, let her go, Doublefire. She has nothing to do with this. She's just a hatchling, said Serenity. She's our insurance policy. She will not be harmed as long as you do not use the talisman. A bright light shone down on them. The demons and ghosts, including Doublefire, closed their eyes and shrieked. Lizzie felt a warm force break the demon's hold on her. She turned around. There stood a man with gold hair dressed in scarlet robes. On his back were two snowy white, feathery wings. You're an angel, Lizzie said. The angel smiled a heavenly smile. An archangel, actually, he said. He looked towards the others. Use the talisman now, Serenity, he called. Serenity nodded and stood on her back legs. She raised the talisman above her head and recited an ancient incantation. A warm light surrounded them all. Doublefire and his fellow servants of Lucifer shrieked even louder. When the light died away, only Lizzie, Serenity, and the Archangel were left. Where are they? Asked Lizzie. I sent them back to their master, said Serenity. Well done, Serenity, said the Archangel. Thank you. Serenity looked at Lizzie. Lizzie, this is my oldest friend, Archangel Gabriel. Gabriel, this is my new friend, Elizabeth Foxdale. It is a pleasure to meet you, Miss Foxdale, said Gabriel. Likewise, said Lizzie. She looked at Serenity. Will Doublefire and the others be able to come back? She asked. Serenity shook her head. Nothing can break a spell cast by the talisman of Stonehenge. They are banished from this world forever. Okay, before I sign off, I would just like to say, if any of you out there have a fanfic or short story, I don't care if it's an everyday fanfic or short story or a holiday fanfic or short story, and you want me to read, do a reading of it for Fanfic Corner, you can feel free to send it to me. Couple of things to keep in mind. Well, first off, if you want to send it to me, you can send it to either my Tumblr account, Facebook page, or my Facebook group, Fanfic Corner. I will have the links for those in the description section. A couple of things to keep in mind. First off, please be sure to include your name and the name of the author if you're submitting something that is not yours. If I don't have anybody to credit, I will not do a reading. Number two, please try to keep them short. I do understand that if you get into a story, sometimes it becomes longer than you intended. If that is the case, I'm not going to do a reading on it. I'm just going to break it up into parts like I do with mine, just because I like to keep these videos relatively short. Number three, please try to keep them clean. I do not want any inappropriate situations or words in in any of these stories, basically because, number one, I don't like using them, or I don't like stuff like that. Number two, basically kids could be watching these videos, and I want to try and keep them clean for them so they can enjoy them. If you do have any in there, I will gloss over or clean them up as best I can. And if I can't, I just won't do a reading. Fourthly, if it is a holiday fanfic or short story, please be sure to submit it 2 months before the holiday, and also please include the holiday's name and date. This is to ensure that I can get the fanfic read and out 1 month before the holiday starts. Finally, please be honest. If I learn that someone has submitted some fanfic or short story that was written by someone else and did not get the author's permission, I will not only remove all corresponding videos, but I will no longer accept any fanfics or short stories from that particular author. Okay, happy Halloween, and please be sure to like, subscribe, and comment.